What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to Let's Build the U.S.S. Enterprise A 2.0 Season 1 Episode 19. I'm Zero Elite, and I just want to thank you very much for tuning in today's episode. If you haven't, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, helping us support the channel. I can't thank you guys enough for that. Today we've got about a 13-minute episode. We'll be picking up right where we left off from doing the outline for our nacelles, and we're going to shift over and continue working on the pylons. So without further ado, let's kick back, relax, and we're going to dive right into this thing. So we're just going to make some minor modifications on the very tip here. And what I'm doing, I was trying to line it up with the template that we have for the outline of the pylons. What we're about to jump into here in just a second, we're actually going to start to wireframe out the engines a little bit more to make them a bit more 3D. But just to briefly recap with what we just did, with your pylons going all the way up, you're going to be going up and out one with the cut for every row, just a single row going all the way up. Do that for both the left side and the right. All right, so what we're doing now is we're just taking our initial template here and we're just going to stretch it out. In other words, we're just going to bring it over a couple of blocks. So we started the left side, we're going to go ahead and start the right side too. Now just to double check, I just want to retrace my steps real quick. Alright, we're looking good. Let's build this out. So we've got a 2-block gap in between them. And I'm not doing anything fancy here. All I'm doing is I'm repeating our initial outline. That's it. You see this row here, bringing it from the back. I just brought it all the way forward, and now I'm just going to go up with our pattern, up and out with the cut. And we're doing 2 high, and then we're going to go in one and up one. All right, we're doing the next row, and then we're going to put in the backbone. Now I know you're probably thinking that area right there doesn't look perfect. Don't worry about that. We'll come back to it. Oh, I got a block missing there. Want to make sure that fix that. So I mean, really, as long as you're following the steps here, I mean, you guys are good. No mistakes can be made. And if you did happen to make a mistake, a vital step, go back and check your work. This is something I do myself all the time. It's a necessary part in the build, because that's going to save you from making mistakes. And if you do happen to make it again, just check your work and you'll be able to spot out where you made that error. Now you can say I did the same thing on this side. I just brought that row going all the way forward until I got all the way up to where a pattern's starting, and just repeating the same process again. I'm not going to build all that out live. I've done quite enough of it. I already did one engine, so we're just going to skip ahead. So we're going to get rid of that row. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. We're adjusting the inner side only. Because what we're doing is we're modifying our template so now the left side and the right side match. This is one of the things I talk about from time to time, making a decision as far as what you want to do. If you feel like you want those engines to be a little bit thicker as far as going straight up and down, that vertical look, if you want it to be thicker like I had it before, hey, do that. If you like what I have, do that too. If you want to do something different, I say go for it. But I mean, this is exactly the things I think about when I'm building out these ships. It just comes down to making a decision as far as which way you want to go. And don't be afraid, you know, to make a couple of different save files if you want to experiment. So that this way, if you decide that you don't like what you did, you can just revert back to that previous save file. Alright, so just want to make sure that everything's lining up here. So I say check your template, check your cut lines. This is the stuff that's going to guide you on your journey in building this out. So we're just going to be making a slight tweak on the front here. We already did on the left side. You can see I'm going off of the front where the pylon meets the nacelle. And we're just bringing that down by one cut line, but only in the front. Got to bring that back by one. Again, follow your pattern. That's looking pretty good. Let's zoom out and take a look at it and see what we're working with here. Now, at this point in time, it's a great exercise to take a brief breath and zoom around your ship, analyze it, compare it to your reference material and whatever source material you're using, and make a decision. Do you like it the way it looks? Is it lining up when you look at it from different angles? If not, what do you need to do to change that? Now, with what I have here, I think we're looking pretty good. I don't think we're going to have to make too many adjustments to the outline here. Now, originally what I was doing with this row, I was going to try to further connect the pylons to it, or excuse me, to connect the pylon to the nacelle. But what we're ultimately going to do right here is just work on filling in the bottom. And as you can see, following that cut line, having that clean line going straight across all the way to the back. So now we're following our cut, we're going up and back one. We're going to bring that all the way back to the next cut line. You can see one of the things that you can do also, if you feel like you are making a lot of mistakes, you can do it at the same time. So if you do one step on the left, do that same step on the right before moving on to the next step. I don't like that one row right there, but I tell you what, when we fill this in, you're not going to see that jankiness. And we can fatten it up on the sides to try to fix that. So now what I'm doing, I'm going off the very top of the pylon, doing 1, 2, 3. We're going to try to stretch these out a little bit if we can. Now, one of the problems with this, it's a little bit too elongated. Because if you want to see exactly what I'm looking at, you need to go on my Discord, and you need to go under previous builds and look for my Enterprise A 2.0. You're going to want to scroll all the way up to the very start of that page, and I'll have all of the concept art that I made for this build. And kind of what I have going on here at the very top, when it's getting like right here, this part of the pylon starts to kind of stretch back a little bit. So that's what we're working on right now to try to maybe see if we can get that in there. But the issue right now is that it's just stretched out a little bit too much, and it's not giving me the look that I want. And like I was saying before, some of this we can end up using as the bottom section of the pylon, or excuse me, the bottom section of the nacelle. You know, I try to stay within the Star Trek terms as much as I can, but sometimes I need just to say the bottom of the engine. um, because I do know all the Star Trek terms. I do think that it might be a little bit more helpful sometimes, people that don't necessarily know Star Trek. So if you hear me calling these things engines, don't hold it against me. This is just for everybody else that doesn't know what a nacelle is or forgets, because they're one and the same with an engine. The pylons are the piece that hold the engine up. Now that looks pretty good, what we did on the right side. Let's try to replicate that on the left and see how that looks. Now see, that's a little bit closer to what we're wanting. But to really make that blend in well, we're going to have to continue that pattern down a few more rows maybe. And we can maybe even continue it up one again, but we're doing a pattern of 4. This is something I'm going to try to talk about more with my patterns and what patterns that we're using, because I have had people talk from time to time like, what patterns are you talking about? And it's literally the patterns that we're currently working with. If you break it down like this, everything on the ship is a pattern. Everything. Because of how we're building with the blocks. And when you start to think that way, it's going to make this whole thing a lot easier for you guys. I'm doing my best to try to make this as organized as I can, but I do realize that this is something I have to work on a little bit more, and maybe talking about some of this stuff a little bit more early on. So that's something I am actively aware of, and going forward I am going to try to talk about that a lot more in the beginning, going over my entire thought process and all these different tips and the things that I look at when I'm building, because this is stuff that's going to ultimately help you guys out. Because again, you know, going back what I'm trying to achieve with this channel, I'm trying to teach you guys to build the way that I do. And if you're looking for just a straight tutorial that just tells you every single block placement through and through from beginning to end, you're not really going to get that with this tutorial series. I try to push you guys when I feel that it's necessary to, on things that I know that you guys can do. And then when it comes down to things that really, really need to be talked about, I will definitely always go into that for you guys. But we're going to slightly shift gears here now. And you can see that I started off at the very bottom to where the pylons connect with the shuttle bay, and I'm just kind of doing an outline trim. Or excuse me, not a trim, a pinstripe is what I should say. Pinstripes are super helpful. They help to accentuate your details in your ship. But I highly recommend going very, very slow with that, because less is more. But after you do the left side, you want to make sure you do the outline for the right side. And then, man, we've shot through episode 19 like it was nothing. So I think that's going to do it for me today. My work is done partially for the week. I got one more episode to do. But I think that's going to be it. And I just want to thank you guys again for tuning in today's episode. And if you can help me out, hit that like and subscribe button, helping me in supporting the channel. I can't thank you guys enough for that. New subscribers, don't forget to hit notifications on and join the Discord. I'll have a link in the description below. I also get people asking me from time to time, hey, Zerelite, how can I support the channel? The number one thing that you guys can help me do right now is watch my videos. I'm obviously continuing to work on adding more subscribers, but my watch hours, this is something I'm really trying to focus on. So, I mean, those of you that just enjoy watching my videos, if you don't have anything going on a Saturday or Sunday, throw on one of my playlists and just let it ride out. You know, we'll hang out for the day and build a ship. So I really appreciate everybody that does take the time to do that. And yeah, I just want to thank everyone again. I hope everybody has a happy and safe week. And of course, what did you make in Minecraft today? Post your photos in the Discord.